control. Politicians and celebrities make deals behind closed doors, promises broken, and their income soars. Hidden agendas run the grand parade. In the circus, choose a masquerade. Believe me, I wouldn't lie. I've been given money, power, and fame to keep you in line.
Welcome. I hope everybody's having a great week. Today, we're going to do a quick one, something fun. Don't take it so serious. Try not to get triggered. We are going to be talking about competitive mating strategies. This one is for men, from men's point of view, and what they are looking for or not looking for, depending on their resources, status, and genetics. And for genetics, we're basically talking about looks. So your signs of health and stuff like that would be like what you look like, the superficial stuff that people can just see. So let's begin. And remember, this is just a working chart. We are working it out still. So if anyone has any tweaks, any suggestions, any additions, or anything you'd like to change about it, please get to the comments after the show, and I'm open to revisit it and rework it if it needs to be, but do make a compelling case if you'd like me to do so. So here is what we are going to be working out. So this is when we're talking about mating strategy, we're specifically talking about when guys are looking to mate with women. They are looking for, based on what they have to offer, what they want from that woman. And ultimately, this is just for like mating, reproduction, and stuff like that. So like, what do they have to put in? What kind of work are they going to put in? And what are they going to expect if they with what they have coming in? So if like I'm wealthy, attractive, and famous, what do I want the woman to be of each category and stuff like that? What will I be okay with? What won't I be okay with? So we're working out this chart for fun. Don't be triggered. And all the check marks will be you are a 7.5, let's say around that, or higher in that area. Okay. So we're talking about like low investment would be someone who just immediately sleeps with you. You don't have to spend any money. You don't have to spend a lot of time. Like they are an easy in and out. What other qualities in them you would expect, right? And then we have the mild investment. So this is like a few dates, maybe long-term dating, but you're not having to get married or anything like that, like right away. Some like money investment, some monetary investment's going to happen. And then you have like more of a more equal investment, as in like you are very exclusive with them. You're dating and or married to them, and there's a lot of money involved, right? But they are also giving a lot too. And this is not just money. This is like all the other criteria. Because remember, women judge men on their resources, their status, and their genetics. Men judge women primarily on their genetics, their looks, right? Their attractiveness. That's like the number one thing. So they're just looking for where to put their genes, like, or who's going to like get their genes and whatever. Okay. So okay. So this one is going to be for males with no resources. So like you have little to no resources, like, most Americans, unfortunately, would be in this category. Am I right? So most Americans would be like, I got no resources. I'm broke. Or I'm like month to month or whatever. No status. So they're not like the best in their field. They're not famous. They don't have millions of followers. They're not a known person. They're not like, they don't have any status in any places. Like, now, status is an interesting one because you can have status in specific circumstances. Let's say you are a chess grandmaster, right? In like in like a fashion show, you have no status, but if you are in a competition, you have high status, right? So it depends on the circumstance. But this is someone who has no status, nowhere, right? And your genetics are just subpar. So like most of us Americans, right? You're not that attractive. Maybe you're not as young and healthy, whatever, as you could be, right? So when you're looking at a female, if she's easy, no like low investment, you're not going to care as much about her looks and stuff, right? You're not going to care. It's like, this is easy. I don't care what she looks like as much. Maybe like not hideous, but she doesn't need to be a 7.5 or higher for me to like really consider her. Right. And then resources, I'm not going to ask her about what she does for a living. I don't really care. Intelligence, doesn't really matter. She's easy. Kindness, self-sacrificing, doesn't really matter, right? This is just a one and done. So you're not going to ask any of these things. It's just going to be like, if it's easy, I'll do it. Whatever, it's fine. And then if she's going to make you have a mild investment, like you're going to be dating, you're going to be spending money on dates and stuff like that, you might still, because remember, you don't have much resources. So these are probably like, you're going to Taco Bell, you're going to wherever. You're not spending like tons of money, but it is costing you some of your resources. You're not going to be able to demand that she's super attractive or has any resources herself or super intelligent or even super kind at this stage, right? And then if you are giving a little bit more, like obviously you don't have the status and the resources and genetics, but you can provide, like maybe you're very doting on her. Maybe you're extra generous in the bedroom. You're doing all the things outside of resource, status, and genetics. So you're trying to make her girlfriends jealous, whatever. So you're putting in some investment and some time and some money. Maybe you're going 50-50 on the bills. You're not living a lavish lifestyle, but you're going 50-50. You're both not that attractive, but maybe she has a good job and like that's important to you, because if you're going to go 50-50, she has to have some money so you can afford some sort of place to live. So that's when like now you're going to be saying, can she work? Because I can't afford the apartment by myself and I don't want to live on the streets. So she has to at least help me get an apartment. All right. And then intelligent, at this point, you can't really be asking for that. So you're not paying attention. Kind, you do kind of want her to be kind once you're like past the 50-50 mark. So then once you get to higher investment, now you're married, right? Like this is marriage, commitment, all the things. You still can't really ask for her to be very attractive, but you want her to at least be able to work out, like help out with the bills, maybe even a little bit more than you at this point, because you're marrying her. So like you don't have any resources. So she needs to be paying for the bills. And you don't really care if she's that smart. In fact, you prefer it because like if she's paying for most of the bills, she can't be that smart. All right. And now kindness. She better be really kind because you don't have much to offer her. So she better be really nice and pay all the bills. Okay. And then if you are giving her like marriage and a lot of time, you are like doing all the things in the bedroom for her. Like you are very giving. You are just very much there. Now she's got to be either very cute or very wealthy. And obviously she can't be that intelligent, because if she's very cute or very wealthy and she's picking you, that's not going to work out. So you don't want her intelligent because that's going to cause problems later on. She's going to be like, wait a minute, what am I doing? And you do want her to be very self-sacrificing and kind to you, because you're going to be doing a lot for her to maintain her, right? So that's what you can expect if you don't have any of the things that women want, like how much work and effort you have to do and what you can kind of expect from the other party in this scenario. Now, remember, do not be triggered. And this is not always going to happen. There's examples of people outside of this, but this is your general chart. This is just a working model so you can kind of see. All right, now you don't have any resources, so you're still a brokey. You don't have any status. You're not famous. You're not really good at anything. There's nothing you really excel in, but you are at least a 7.5. You're cute. You are above average. You are good looking. When you get an Instagram photo of you and her, like, and she can post that. She's going to be like making her friends jealous. Like they don't know that you're broke and that you have nothing else, but you're hot. So she can Instagram you. It's going to make her look good, right? She's going to enjoy wanting to sleep with you. She's going to be chasing you. So then now it's like, okay, you bring the looks, you bring the package, the genetic material, right? So what can you expect? So for a low investment, you're still probably not, because like guys don't really care that much about looks in females for like a one and done. So you're not going to care as much. You're not going to be super strict if she's attractive, like a 7.5 or more. You can take a 6. It's fine. A 5, whatever. Who cares? Resources, you're probably not going to ask because this is a one and done. So who cares? Intelligence, you're probably not going to talk to her much. So you don't even know. Kindness, again, you're just in and out, right? Moving on to some sort of dating, you're spending a lot of money on dates. You're taking her out. This is not your wife or whatever, but you are dating her. Now you're going to care about what she looks like because now you're spending some money and you're like, I don't have much money or resources. So even if I'm taking her to McDonald's, she better be cute because I'm hot, right? Now, you probably, if she's really cute, you probably don't care about her resources as much. You're like, I'm not marrying her. So like, I can kind of like be with a cute girl for a while, take her to, whatever, McDonald's on the weekends. And I could be happy with that, but I'm not marrying her, right? And, you don't care much about the intelligence and you don't care much about how, like, you do care if she's nice because you are spending a lot of time with her and you are good looking. So good for you. Investment. So when it gets to the point where it's like she's investing a lot into you, like she's very much giving to you, you're very much giving to her, and now you are like monogamous, you are in a committed relationship, and you maybe are already married at this point. So this is when, you're cute, so she better be cute too. It only makes sense. At least a 7.5 or more. Now, this one is kind of weird. So like if she has a lot of resources, she could be a little bit less hot, right? But you're still cute. So you want something. You want her to be, at least let's say a 6 or something because you're really attractive. So, but if she has moderate resources, like you guys can together get like a decent lifestyle, she needs to be cute too. All right. And then we have intelligence. You still don't really care about that, right? And then kindness, she better be nice to you because you are good looking. She does get a boost whenever she posts you. So, she better be nice about it. And then now we have higher investment. This is definitely going to be wifey. You are spending a lot of time. Maybe you have to build her that shelf she needs. So you're spending weekends being kind and generous and giving. And a lot of time and energy goes into the relationship. So this is not just monetary, right? So you're spending a lot of time and energy. So she better be cute. She better be able to pay at least some of the bills. And you don't really care about the intelligence part. We're not quite there yet. We don't have that much. And then kind, she better be kind. And now when we go to like, you're putting a lot of effort into it, you really don't care about the looks as much as long as she's giving you the lifestyle now. So now is when you're like, look, I am doing a lot. I'm going above and beyond. Like, I don't need you to be as attractive as me, but you better be paying all the bills at this point. So that's when resources become very important. And you don't need her to be intelligent because you don't want her, finding someone better than you. So she can't be that intelligent. But you do want her kind and sacrificing because, you want an easier time. All right. So that's someone you'll marry, you'll be good with. And now, if you have no resources, you're still brokey or barely making it by on your own, you don't have great genetics, but for whatever reason, you're famous for some reason or you have status in some field. Maybe you're like the best, I don't know, like you are famous online, but you don't know how to monetize that. So like you have a lot of notoriety, but you're still broke for some reason. Or let's say you're really good at like art, but I guess it's like your art doesn't sell, but like everybody's jealous of your art still. So you do get status in that community. Or maybe you're really good. Okay, like, yeah, okay, a reality TV celebrity, but you don't have any money. Like you are a broke reality TV star. Yeah, Z less celebrity. So you have status. You have maybe some fame or status. There's something about you that you can like share. So like she can be like, oh, he's been on blah 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 show, and everybody would be like, oh wow, something like that. Or he's the best carpenter or something like that. Oh wow, something where she could brag. But it did not equal to any financial success. You're not very good looking, right? So you will use your status to get easy lays, and you're going to want them to be cute, because remember, like, let's say you're like a Destiny but like broke, you want them to be cute, but you don't really care if they have resources or they're smarter than you or they're very nice, because this is like an in and out for like the no investment, low investment. For mild investment, you're dating, they better be cute, but you still don't care about status, because you're the one who has a status, and if they had status too, why would they be with you if they're also cute, right? Intelligence, you don't need that. Kindness, they better be kind, because you're dating them. So you're taking them out and they're kind of getting some status from being with you, with your status, and they get to say that they, are dating you. So that's a good jump for them. So they better be nice to you. And now we're talking 50-50. You may or may not be married, but you're monogamous, you're together, right? They better be cute, and they better also have some status or resources, right? So maybe she's not rich, but she's like in your field. Like you're both struggling streamers, but you both have like up and coming viewership, or you're both like, I don't know, you're both in your field. Let's say she's an artist and she's really good at that and people know about her, but she's not selling lots of stuff, so she's like not wealthy yet or whatever, but people know who she is, and maybe you make, I don't know, cabinets, and you're the best at doing that, so you guys have like some status and stuff like that in the community. All right, so intelligence, not that important. You don't need to be like chess players or anything. Kindness, you guys better be kind, because you're about, Now, you're definitely married, higher investment, you're doing a little bit more, right? You might not care as much about what she looks like, as long as she's, decent, like 6 or more, let's say, but she doesn't have to be a 7.5 or more, but you want her to have a little bit more resources and status than you now, right? And now you're kind of like, she better have some, if she's not that cute, she better have some resources and intelligence and be really nice, and I can make that wifey. That's no problem, right? And you're going to have to be putting in some more work, but this is a good match too. Now, very high investment, a lot of time and energy, like you have to really make this person happy. She doesn't have to be attractive, but she better have a lot of resources, money, give you a good lifestyle. Intelligence not going to matter as much, but she better be nice to you and kind and sacrificing, and make sure it's worth all your time and effort, because you do have status. Now, you're not that great looking, but you have status. All right, next one. All right, you have no status, not that great looking, no good genetics, but now you have money. So picture like short, obese, bald, unattractive, 5 chins, but you're rich, right? You got the resources. So you're going to want someone, you'd be okay with someone who's very low effort. So like no investment, one and done. If they're hot, you're not going to care about anything else, right? And now if you're investing a little more, you're dating them, taking them out, spending some money on dates. They better be hot, but you want either intelligence or they're really nice to you at this point. So either or is going to be fine, but you need one of those. And then if it's like equal investment, like you're putting a lot of effort into her, not just monetarily, but you're making sure she's, happy, and you're taking her places, you're being in a good mood around her, you're doing stuff with her, you're generous in other ways, you're kind and whatever. If you're putting in that type of time and energy, you want her to be very hot. Now, you might not care about the resources because you got that. You don't really care about intelligence that much, but you need her to be really kind to you too, right? Because you were 50-50, so you're probably married about that point, that much investment. And then if you're like definitely married, whatever, very high investment, you're doing a lot for this woman. She better be hot. You don't really care about the status or the intelligence. It doesn't matter. But you're going to need her to be really kind and self-sacrificing and a good person to be around, right? And now if you're doing a lot and you have money, this is when I think you okay, like if you just have money, you have no status. Remember, you're not famous. Nobody knows who you are. Maybe you won the lottery one day, but you're unattractive. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody cares, right? You probably can't expect status from someone, but I think you'd probably want someone with status because that's one thing that you can get that you don't have. So if you can get it via somebody else, you'd probably be more likely to want that and put in more effort to be with that person. So that's just one thing to think about. And then intelligence, like if you don't have looks, but they have looks, and you can get someone with looks plus intelligence, and your kids will be like set with that, I mean, that's great for you. So you'd probably really want that, but it's not for sure. Like, that's a nice to have, not a need. And as long as they're kind, self-sacrificing, you'll be okay with putting in very high investment for someone like that. Now we're talking about you still have no status. Nobody knows who you are, but you're hot and rich. So you won the lottery and you happen to be good looking, right? So now you'd be totally fine with someone who's very hot, doesn't have any money, dumb, but they're very nice to you because you've got the looks and the money. So nobody knows who you are, but they better be nice to you, like, right? Even if it's a one and done, they better be nice to you because you bring so much. So mild investment, you're dating, whatever, same thing. I would say the same thing. Equal investment time. So like you are married, you are, giving them a lot of attention and time and your energy. You can expect them to be good looking because you're good looking, right? Now, they're probably not going to have resources or that high intelligence, but they'll be self-sacrificing. I would say like no matter what, if you have those two things, you can expect them to be really nice to you. Higher investment. So you're already married. You put a lot of effort into them. You do nice things for them. I'm talking about things outside of like the money, the status, and the resource. Like you're kind and present and you're doing stuff for them. It would be nice to have if they also had status, because it's the one thing you don't have. And you can kind of get status from their status. Like, oh, I'm dating so-and-so, or I'm married to so-and-so, or whatever. You can kind of get status there. And that can actually help you as a guy get more deals and get even more resources and make yourself, more secure. Intelligence, you're probably going to start thinking maybe intelligence is a good idea and it's a nice to have at this point. Like you'd consider it something you're actually thinking about because you're like, I'm putting a lot of effort. I want my kids to have the best, and let's make them smart. And of course, they're going to be nice to you because you're hot and rich. And then very high investment. So you're putting a lot of time, a lot of energy into the relationship to make it work. You're not just like sending checks and see you in 6 months, honey. So we're talking about high investment. You're an involved spouse and father, right? She's going to be hot. She should probably have some status at this point or resources. So maybe like she has a beauty business or something, or she's a famous model or something like that. So like she could give you some status at this point because you're putting a lot of effort into this person. Or I would say so either she has status and stuff like that can kind of like help you get more, or she's just intelligent like crazy. So then that could help you with your children. And of course, she's going to be nice. Now, you are la creme de la creme, right? You have the genetics, you have the status, and you got the money and the resources, right? Hot, fame, and wealth, right? Now you can be picky, right? Now you're going to be picky. It's going to be, so now she's not going to be, you're not taking home no 4s and 5s and 6s because you're bored, because you are the full package. So like Brad Pitt doesn't go, maybe I'll take this 4 home. He doesn't even, 4s don't exist when you're that, right? I'm not saying that Brad Pitt's hot anymore. Like imagine like in his peak, he's rich, he's got status and good looking, right? So you're not going to be taking anyone who's less than a 7.5 home, period. Even if it's a one and done. Now, you're not going to care about her status. If it's a one and done, you don't care. You might want her to be smart because you might want more than just looks at this point. Because especially if you have everything, now you're going to be like, let's have a conversation even before the one and done. Is she smart enough? Because that could turn you off. Because when you have everybody wants you, now you're going to be picky even for like the no investment chicks. So it's like, you're not touching the dummies, right? Kindness, you might want kindness, but it's not going to, this is a one and done. So you're never going to talk to them again. It's like, whatever. Probably don't even get to talk to them that much. You just want to make sure like, is this person completely annoyingly dumb? And that. Mild investment, you're dating. Maybe people see you two together. So she, of course, can be good looking. And it's a nice to have if they have some status, so they can help you get some status too, because it's nice to have. And plus, when you have everything, you don't really have to date down anymore. Like you don't have to concede. You can have everything you want. So she could be a supermodel now, right? Like, why are you saying I don't want status? Like, go to the, whatever modeling show and just pick out the hottest young thing, and she's going to have some status, and why not? Right? You want intelligence now because you're dating her. So you're going to be talking to her a lot. You're not going to have time to put up with any BS. Maybe she's nice. Maybe she's not. Like sometimes like the models, they're kind of selfish, but when you have status and money and all that stuff to throw at them, it doesn't matter. Like if like money solves a lot of problems, because a lot of what women complain about is, I don't want to cook today. I'm tired. I'm cranky. This hurts, whatever. You can throw money at a lot of problems. So like you'll see a lot of wealthy guys, like, I don't care if she cooks or cleans, because they have people for that. Yes, I know some of you think kindness is more important than intelligence, but that's like you have different things. When you have different things to offer, you look for different things. That's why a lot of guys who are like hot, rich, and all the things, they're with female narcissists that are hot. Like these are not generous and kind women, but they are like them. They're narcissistic. They're full of themselves, or like, we're so wonderful, whatever. Those people like usually are together. If you have like super like high amounts of resources, status, and looks and everything, you're probably going to be more likely on the narcissistic spectrum, very high. So you're not looking for that because you're a narcissist, like wants like. So I'm full of myself. I think I'm wonderful and great, and everybody tells me I'm wonderful and great. So somebody else who's always told they're wonderful and great, probably going to want that too. Anyways, so mild investment, you're dating, blah, blah, blah. And then equal investment, you're going to want all the things. Kindness and self-sacrificing. I know you guys don't get it, but like, yes, Kim and Kanye. Kanye can have anyone, right? Well, actually, he's not that cute, but some people think he's cute. He's not hideous. So, maybe he could have anyone, right? He didn't pick the kindest, most self-sacrificing person. She would not sacrifice for him. So it's just, and they were kind of a 50-50 relationship in how much time and energy that they spent on each other. And then higher up, you know, you want everything. And then even more investment, you already want everything. So like, I don't even think that when you have these things, you can get to like super high. Like you're never going to be that high investment when you have genetic status and high resources. You're never going to be like, you're not going to be the doting guy. So maybe like this whole column you could take out, because I don't think I just don't think you're going to be trying harder than like just the higher investment category. You're not going to be very high because, oh, sweetheart, my precious child. This is, we are animals, and as animals, we, based on what we have to offer, go for certain things. And that's it. And that's all the things. And we're going to do one on women next time. But I want you guys to look back on these charts and let me know if you think I should tweak anything or if you think it's pretty good. And I know you guys don't like the whole, you want everybody to be kind. But unless you are, you know, super attractive, super high status, super high resources, you can't judge some other man's chart, right? Because we know that people who have all the things go for other narcissists more times than not, right? So they're not going to be there. We are not here. We're either like high, we're either great genetics or we're over here. Like that's where we are. So we're not expecting, we can't expect that much from who we get. Look, just be real here. All right. We don't know what really happened. And I feel like all of that stuff on television is fake. It is what it is. Oh my gosh. Anyways, so get to the comments and let me know what you think about tweaking this. And I'm going to do the female version. So if you guys have any thoughts for how the female version should be, I'm sure you'll have many. And you're like, we will go over that next time. But this is all for today. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And I hope we get to do the next one next time and you guys enjoy it. Get to the comments, like, share, subscribe. Oh, before I go, I would say he was, let's see. What was he? I feel like he was just great genetics when I met him. He didn't have any status and he didn't have any money. He was a kid in school. And I was probably, let's see, what was I? I would probably, for him, so this would be like his chart. He's just cute. Let's see. If I'd put myself, I'm very smart. So he definitely looked out over here. I'm very kind. So he looked out over here. I think I'm cute. At least I was very cute when I was young. I was very cute. I did not have any resources or status. So I would probably be like here. I don't know. But with intelligence. So see, I'm not quite on the chart. It's not a foolproof system yet. We're working on it. So, anyways, if we can make this a check mark, we can go here. Because I feel like he put very high investment. He spent a lot of time, energy, making sure I was happy. So, and I was very cute. But I had no resources. Bam. Anyways. Oh God. This is not a love show. This is we're studying humans as if we are aliens looking down at the world and trying to figure out why they do the things that they're doing, how they pair up, why they pair up. That's all we're doing. We are not claiming to be I don't know, anything other than aliens. Like, why does the gazelle pick their mate? Like, why? We were just observing and just looking and trying to decide. Well, we'll ask him this weekend if he wants to review the chart and what he thinks about it. Oh my gosh. Anyways, see you guys next time. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after. Not sure. Have a good one. Bye.
The old gods whisper tongues of sin. They crawl through culture to pull you in. Don't be for sale, don't wear their grin. The old are rotten, don't let them win. Eyes and hats and mirrored glass. They promised youth, they cursed your past. You drank the lie with ruby lips, but every toast is one.